President Trump takes a hardline stance on the Taliban despite progress in peace talks after a series of terror attacks across Afghanistan. One America's Kristian Rouz has more.
President Trump is taking it to the Taliban in an effort to make sure that we protect America's interests. We will never give up.
The State Department suspends peace talks with Islamic terror group Taliban following a deadly attack in the Afghan capital of Kabul that killed an American soldier. In an interview Sunday, State Secretary Mike Pompeo said although the U.S. remains committed to the peace process in the war-torn country, the Taliban must take an effort to reduce violence before any talks can proceed. Pompeo says American troops will now have to remain in Afghanistan for an indefinite period of time.
You should know, in the last 10 days we've killed over 1,000 Taliban, and we're not going to withdraw our forces without making sure we achieve President Trump's twin objectives. Any reduction in our forces will be based on actual conditions, not commitments, but actual conditions on the ground.
Over the weekend, the State Department has recalled Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad from the Middle East, saying the Taliban failed to deliver on preliminary arrangements and violence in Afghanistan has gone too far. The terror group hit back, threatening, quote, more American deaths in response. All this is taking place just on the eve of an anniversary of the 9/11 attacks that marked the beginning of the war on terror 18 years ago.
We've asked them, demanded that they break with al-Qaeda. Since the Bush administration, they've refused to do so. They murdered 3,000 innocent people, citizens of 91 countries on 9/11. We should never forget that.
President Trump says the Taliban may be feeling insecure and lacking bargaining power in talks with the U.S. and the Afghan government. The group appears to believe terror attacks could help it enforce its demands during the final stages of talks. Despite America's key condition, Islamic terror in Afghanistan must end once and for all. It remains unclear if the Taliban is ready to participate in Afghan politics and uphold peace in that country, as right now it remains heavily reliant on tribal militancy and radical political Islam.
I believe that what is needed is some type of disruption to the status quo.
Secretary Pompeo says despite a suspension in direct talks with the Taliban, the U.S. will pursue a negotiated peace settlement. However, military pressure on the Taliban is expected to increase in the coming weeks, with retaliatory terror attacks expected across the country as well. And while the stalemate doesn't appear to have a quick solution, the Taliban is facing a rising threat from other terror groups, such as the Afghan branch of the Islamic State, known as ISIS-K.
To ISIS-K, to al-Qaeda, and other foreign terrorists who have no business being in Afghanistan in the first place.
It has yet to be seen if the Taliban will reach a resolution and agrees to lay down its arms for the benefit of the Afghan people. Kristian, Rouz, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.